You know, last week somebody said to me one of the things that they've learnt during this time of the pandemic is patience. And we've all had to be patient over the past few weeks and months. Patient as we've queued for the shops. Patient as we've relied on others to do our shopping. Patient as we've given each other's time and space to grapple with how we're feeling and our reactions to the lockdown. And we've also had to be patient because churches stopped publicly meeting 3 months ago. And we've been patiently waiting until that time when we've been able to gather together again as God's people. And many of us were, in a sense, overjoyed when we heard Boris Johnson's announcement that from the 4th of July, churches will once again be able to offer public worship. But actually, I'm talking to you today to ask you to continue to be patient. Because although the announcement came last week, actually there's a lot of work that needs to be done in order for us to unlock our church buildings. And what has become clear is that the church services that we will be returning to in the short term will not be the same as the church services we were holding before lockdown. We're still waiting for the Church of England to issue their updated guidance. But what is apparent is that we will need to allow for social distancing, that the capacity that we can have in our buildings will be reduced. And there's even talk that singing will not be allowed. And so in our parish, where all our buildings are relatively small, this will give us an extra challenge that we'll need to work through. And so the Up Subcommittee and the In Subcommittee, that's the subcommittee that oversees worship and discipleship, and our committee that oversees buildings and churchyards, they're going to be working really hard over the coming weeks to sort out how we can safely open our building for public worship. And we'll let you know when that is going to be. We'll let you know the arrangements that will need to be put in place. So I'm needing to ask you to be patient as we wait. And also to be open. We're also looking at creative ways that we can enable our congregations to connect, which don't rely on the church building. And we'll be issuing more information about that in the coming days and weeks. It's good news that life is beginning to be unlocked again. It's good news that once again we're going to be allowed to join together to worship in public acts of worship. But we do need to make sure that we do it in a way that's safe, so our reopening and our re-engagement is going to be steady and slow. God is at work despite the fact that we haven't been able to join together for public worship, and that won't change. So let's be patient and patiently wait. Let's wait with expectation that God will continue to work in and through his church. And let's be open to new and creative ways of being church at this time.